Years ago, I went for an audition.
Right.
And it was a very powerful casting director in his 70s. He's no longer here. He's passed away. This is the God's honest truth. He said to me on the phone, Liz, if you want this film to happen, you need to fly to Hawaii Friday and go entertain the money men. I went, oh, I'm really sorry. His name. I don't understand what you mean.
Welcome to the Gray Area Podcast. I'm your host, Maximilian Decker, where we cover everything gray in career and in life. Today, my guest is no other than my manager, Liz Fuller. Liz.
Hey, Max.
Hi, how are you?
You got me here.
I got you here.
I wasn't going to come, but you got me here.
Really? Why? What was the? I mean, you're so heavily decorated with all your accolades. Why would you not be like one of my first guests?
I think the camera makes me shy. Can I say that? I did 18 years in front of the camera.
But you're stunning. I mean, look at her. She's stunning. She's stunning.
Thank you.
Stunning.
That's very kind.
Oh, thank you. Well,
it doesn't mean a beautiful girl always wants to be in front of the camera.
Oh.
Just because you're stunning.
Okay, but let's start there then, because you were a host.
Yes.
And that's where you started, right?
I was a model first.
So you're a model.
But I only wanted to be a model so that I could get into television. So my first ever jobs, one of them was I was flag girl for Great Britain for a boxer called Chris Eubank. So when he would go on his boxing tour, I would hold the British flag and walk behind him.
Oh, wow.
That was a great job. Then my next job, I was a model on a TV show called This Morning, Richard and Judy in the UK, and I would do that once a week. But I only ever did the modeling so I could be a TV host.
But how old were you when this was happening?
I started modeling when I was about 17, and probably by the time I got to London was after my degree. It would have been about 22, 23.
Wow. So you almost got, like, I want to say, cultivated into that position, right?
What do you mean by cultivated?
Well, like, not a cult, but like, the culture, like you're in the culture of it. Like you were in the culture of TV, you're in the culture of being a model. So you knew how to present yourself and be proper and fit.
I like to try. I like to still look good even though I'm not on the camera.
You kind of like were cultivated for this job, for this business.
I think that's the same with every actor, Max. You know that. Or TV presenter, host, as you call it in America. I think you are born to do it and be in front of the camera, because otherwise you won't go through the years of rejection and the relentless determination you need to keep turning up. I mean, when I go back to when I first arrived in London and I was a model, I signed with a couple of model agencies and I would pound the pavements. I would go to 8 castings in London a day.
Wow.
And, if I booked 1 or 2 jobs a week, that was amazing.
Was your goal like to be, I'm going to be the biggest supermodel in the world?
I knew I wasn't going to be I'm 5'9", so I had that on my side. But I knew I wasn't going to be a supermodel. And to be honest, I didn't want a career where I didn't give my personality. So for me, it was all about talking. I wanted to talk. My degree is journalism from one of my the favorite university, I think, in the UK for journalism, which is University of Cardiff, Wales. And for me, I wanted to talk. I wanted to be a presenter. I wanted to show personality. I wanted to have fun. And the majority of the shows I did do were live, unscripted. Right.
And there's an energy there, isn't there? Like there's such an energy with the camera early in the morning, and it's just like, it's like alive, I want to say.
Yeah, so I did the full spectrum. I used to present shopping TV at 6 a.m. in the morning, 6 till 9. And I used to be selling gold, rings, anything, memorabilia, jewelry.
Right.
And then I probably got best known in the UK for hosting a game show called Quiz Call. And I did that for 5 years. It was on Channel 5, which is like our 3rd biggest channel. And that was live interactive game shows, which we tried to bring to America, but it was deemed as an illegal lottery.
What?
I know you're going to pick up on that.
Like what?
So it's a game show where the audience at home play.
Right.
And I did 2. I did Quiz Call and I did Brainbox for ITV. And so instead of having your contestants in the studio, your contestants are at home.
That's brilliant.
With a premium rate phone number. So it's like playing the lottery, right?
That's brilliant.
Yeah. So IMG over here, they tried to, or ICM first, ICM tried to bring the hosts over and the production to launch it in America, because on Channel 5, we could make £1 million. That's what, like $1.5 million a night for the network on phone calls. And so, there were a lot of power players trying to bring it to America, because the UK is under 70 million, 60 something million. Whereas America's 350 million. So there was a lot of money in trying to launch that type of television show here.
But isn't that the reason why?
That's how I got my visa.
But isn't that the reason why they probably blocked it, was because there's so much money to be made and then it's not going in the right pockets maybe?
I don't know. Either way, it didn't happen. But that's what opened the doors for me to come here about 15 years ago.
Can we pull up some pictures of Liz? Can we do that?
Oh, there's a very funny clip on YouTube of me in a school uniform presenting Quiz Call. That one I will cringe at. If you can find that, I'll laugh.
I don't think so. But I think we're going to be pulling up here a photo so you can see Liz in the day of her. We'll find it here with what you've got coming up. But okay, but as we go to that, let's see this pic. Gorgeous. There you go. It's like
the internet.
Do you age? Because it's like I got like what's going on here? Like, is it just
sometimes I age. It depends on my cosmetic doctor.
Does it depend on your client? Does it depend on the client that you're dealing with, and then you age?
Some clients have turned me gray overnight, I think.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's go into. So you came to ICM with the show, and then acting. Did acting start to kind of kick in, or
so presenting Quiz Call in the UK? My agent knew an agent at ICM.
Right.
John Burnham. And so he was told about me, and the feedback was, if Liz is ever in America, she can come in and meet us. So I went in to meet ICM when they were on Wilshire, their old offices.
Which is their top agency.
I think that was the number one top agency back 15 years
ICM,
ago.
Yeah.
And then John introduced me to Babette Perry, who was the host and agent. And then she helped sponsor my visa, said can't do anything until you have your O1 visa.
Right.
So rushed through. She then left to IMG. I followed her to IMG. And I hosted a few things. I hosted a pilot for OWN network called Home Again, which was taking a homeless person off the streets, or a few, putting them in a house and trying to get them back into society.
So like rehabilitate them.
And reconnect them with their family.
Yeah.
So that was a great pilot. It didn't get picked up, which I'm still amazed at. And then I became a talking head for ETV. So about 12, 13 years ago, ETV was like the hottest network, wasn't it, internationally?
Yeah, it was.
And Ryan Seacrest made that channel, I think, famous.
Right. And American Idol, too, because I think it was the combination of those two, Simon Cowell bringing over X Factor with American Idol, and then he was on E, and that just kind of like...
Yeah, of course.
It was like a culture phenomenon.
So I hosted here for the first 7 years I was here.
Oh, wow.
And then...
Acting?
So I dabbled a little bit in acting, but I'm not an actress. I would rather just be myself than pull into a character and use it with my own emotions.
Right.
I'm not an actress. I love being a talent manager, though.
So how did you discover that? What made you go, you know what, hosting, you're dealing with maybe crossing into acting. What was the moment where you're like, fuck this?
To be honest,
yeah, please.
I had my heart broken 8 years ago, and I don't think anybody had ever broken my heart. And I gave up my TV host job to move to Sydney, Australia, because the guy lived there, and found out that he had cheated back with his ex. And I came back to LA. I'd given up my TV host job. So I had no job. And I came back to this town, and I just thought, I don't want to be somebody out of work. I was so blessed. For 18 years, I was always hosting a TV show. I'd never been out of work, Max, as a TV host, which is insane. There were times in London where I was juggling 3 TV shows at the same time. I would host a shopping show Monday, Tuesday. I would host the music show back home in Wales, where I would drive Wednesday, Thursday, and then I would present a quiz show Friday and Saturday. So it was the first time in my life, 8 years ago, where I'd never been out of work. And for 3 months, I did nothing other than become a good human being. I would do my cardio, go to the pool, read self-help books. And I waited for the answer to come to me. What am I meant to do with my life? And a friend invited me into a model agency called Electrostar on Sunset and said, we think you should be an agent. And I walked into that agency, knew it was the right place for me. And over that year, I just auditioned everybody in town that was unrepresented, that would come into the office. I gave them the same monologue, which I know you've seen.
Yeah.
And I saw I saw 200 actors at least do the same monologue. And I could tell who was a good actor from the minute they literally lifted the page and was breathing.
A lot of people say, though, that you're looking for somebody special, or like some people are like, oh, they were just born. Like, you know, that's kind of gets thrown there a lot. But have you ever seen the reverse to that, where somebody becomes a fantastic actor, working actor, and like has grown? Have you given somebody a chance where you're like, okay, you totally didn't nail that monologue at all, but I see potential, and then they kind of grow into that? Or is it they're just born with it?
So I like the analogy, a representative in this town owns a supermarket. And the casting director is your client. So every day they're saying, I need this, or I need that, or I want this. Now, a person that runs a small supermarket may suggest and say, have you tried this? That's me pitching, right? And nudging the casting director. Why don't you go for this? But you can't stock all the same things. My roster, I may have 10 people that are really good at booking commercials. They don't move theatrically. I have 10 people on my roster that are my best friends. I'm never going to get rid of them. They don't get a lot of auditions. They don't book a lot, but I love them. I'm not releasing them. Right. Then I have maybe 30 actors, which are my ones running out, that are that famous brand, that are up there at the series regular level, the recurring guest level. And then I have probably another 15 that I'm developing that are non-union SAG eligible. So when you ask me a question, what are my actors like? I would say it's all sorts. I've got some people, I think they're the best actors I've ever seen on the planet. Then I've got some people that I'm thinking, I don't think they can act, but their type for some reason gets a million auditions. So I think if I could put them with someone like you, Max, to coach with, we may be able to get a really decent performance out of them, and they'll work. Maybe they won't be famous, maybe they won't collect awards. So I look at everybody's talent individually. I think some people have an incredible type. I just picked up an actress, Autumn, which, you know, I can show you on screen with a photo. She has green hair and tattoos that say Holy Spirit on her neck, and on her stomach is a big tattoo, Child of God. And I saw her on Talent Link, and I literally thought, who is this girl that she's so brave in her own conviction to be in this town with
Holy Spirit on your neck,
tattoos,
right, of course,
and bright green hair. And I thought, I don't know if this girl can act, but I want to sign her.
Right.
I signed her. Within 6 weeks, she booked guest star, became SAG eligible. She was non-union. We got her SAG eligible on the brand new Dick Wolf show On Call, which is filming here.
Right.
And that was within 6 weeks. Then within another 3 weeks, she booked a SAG commercial. Now, that was somebody that I didn't have enough material to know if she was a good actress or not. I just knew her type. She's so confident and so unique that casting would call her in because she's just dynamite. Her energy's insane.
Right. And so do you think that now that we're kind of getting that, though? We're getting like, because back in the day, everybody was like, they try to be like an actor. Like they'd get them from, like, back in the 50s, they'd get them from Broadway.
Yeah.
You know, and now it's like, because of technology and because just of evolution of like our culture, it just seems that we can find somebody on the internet and be like, I think that person's a star.
The look. There's definitely a look in this town. And if you have the look that is trending, tattoos definitely is a big thing right now. Obviously, you got to own your own art. So if there are tattoos,
I was told that I would never work because I'm sleeved, you know, and I was told one time by a producer, you'll never work in this town because. But
that's not. I was told I would never work. I got sacked from one of my first hosting production jobs because they said I wasn't very good, and yet the people that judged me was such small TV show that I ended up doing national show and got signed to America.
It's like the best thing to say is something won't happen, then it will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also I think the greatest motivational force for success is pain.
Right.
So for me, I think pain has always driven me. You know, not having money is a good one, but sometimes that can get you in a desperate energy, and that's no good.
Okay. Is it hard to manage actors? Is there a lot of ego involved? Has there been...
I think I'm quite strict. I think I have strong boundaries.
Yeah, people really don't fuck with you, huh?
They don't. And I think everybody knows you can text me anytime between maybe 8 a.m. but 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can text me anytime. I'll call you back when I'm not busy. I watch other managers at Citizen Skull struggle because they're dealing with actors texting them 11 o'clock at night, 6 a.m. in the morning. Yeah. And I think I'm probably the manager with the biggest roster, and I manage it fine. Yeah. Whereas someone that has 30 odd actors, they're moaning these actors are out of control. They're texting them all times of the day. So I think you have to have very clear boundaries in business, what you'll accept and what you won't accept. Right. And I think there's a level of respect. And also, you know, the quality. I don't sign contracts anymore in the beginning with any of my actors because I don't need to.
Right.
I do see other managers have to kind of go, here's a year contract. I'm not going to take anybody on. My roster is full unless someone is exceptional or I don't have that type.
Right.
I'll let you know. I get emails every day. People want to be on our roster and I don't play their reel. I don't play their reels. I literally look at their headshot. I'll look at their resume. And if they're like a similar type of what I got, don't go further. If I think there's something there, I may send them a monologue if I don't think there's enough materials. But most of the time, I'll feed them out to the other managers on my team.
Yeah. What about when you get somebody, because I think you just got somebody from Batman, the movie Batman.
Yes.
One of the actresses on that.
So she's very young. She's an international actress. Most likely we'll sponsor her visa. I think she's good, but again, she's only got the Batman clip and she's got another film that she's been in. So it's kind of too early to know, but I will take a risk because she's got a massive film credit.
Right.
So nobody's a guarantee.
That helps her get into the room. And I think because there's a lot of people that talk about acting and the business of acting that really never, some of them didn't have careers. And so they'll talk a lot of shit. And then what they don't like is the business of how it's like based on, a look, or it could be like somebody's putting energy into somebody because they see the potential and maybe they didn't get that potential, right? And so I hear we get such a bad rap on how it can start because it's not like, straight from drama school, you go straight into acting. You know, it seems lucky. Like they would say the word is luck. Right.
I think everybody bandies the word luck around, but it's not luck, is it? It's really about being prepared for that opportunity. But you know what, Max? This isn't a fair industry. It's not. If your parents are rich and an actor or a director, you're going to get the opportunities that somebody's worked for 10 years. This is not a fair industry. And if you're going to moan and complain, then forget about it. You're not going to make it. What I notice is the clients that are confident, the clients that are consistent. Right. I mean, let's look at my clients. Raphael, recurring guest. Tape-in series regular. It's a matter of time.
But he's a self-made man too. He doesn't have a rich family. He's very humble.
Opposite. Yeah. His family are Dominican, based in New York. Yeah. And I remember very early on, a director said to him, "What's your why?" And he said, "I want to give my family a good life."
That's a strong why.
I mean, in this town, when you're getting rejection after rejection, and tapes go in, your audition goes in, there's no guarantee you're getting feedback. Yeah. If I chase casting director for a feedback on a co-star or a guest star, they're going to come back and say, he did a great job.
Right.
It's standard, that's what we're getting.
Right.
So it's not fair. It's tough. Thaisa, Thaisa, she's coached with you lots of times.
Right.
Thaisa has been with me also 7 years or 8 years, I think it is now. And I'll tell you, in the beginning, it was crickets for Thaisa. Yeah. Kylina was quiet. Annie was quiet. Sometimes it can take 5 years for casting to be trusting you.
Right.
When I was in London and I used to pound the pavements, as I say, go into casting after casting, modeling, I used to say to myself, the power of 7. Now, years ago, it used to be the power of 7 in advertising, where nobody's going to trust that brand until they've seen it 7 times. They hear the advert on the radio, they see it on the TV, they see it in the supermarket. And it was literally, you'll buy it after 7. Now we live in a faster paced environment where it's probably the power of 3 or 4. So I may submit an actor the first time to that casting office. They may check him out. They may not. Second time, all right, we'll have a look. Third time, okay, let's maybe give them an audition. I would say usually, unless an actor is exceptional or they have a unique look like Autumn, right?
Right.
I would say you have to be taping a couple of times now for that casting office to trust you enough as the gatekeeper to push your tape along to production, showrunner, network.
But now, going back to like, if somebody does have a famous parent, because, you know, I've worked with people that have famous parents, and it seems like the famous parents, from what my experience, they're pretty fucking hard on those people. And to the point where it's like, find your way in it yourself.
Well, I'll tell you something. I had dinner in New York with Sawyer Spielberg's son.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you, as good as I sit here right now, he was asking the other rep that I was sat with, who was an agent, he was asking for help because his dad wouldn't put him in things. Allegedly. I'm going to say that. But he was asking the agent to help him with breaks. That would have been 7 years ago. So just because you got a famous dad or a famous mom, it doesn't mean they're going to help you.
Right.
And it doesn't mean that your tapes are going to be good enough. Also, the word consistency is one of my favorite words, because if your tapes are not consistent, go into the network, go into the casting time after time. You get one bad tape. On my side, when I'm submitting you or pitching you to a casting director, there's a little star that comes up under your name. And that tells me if that casting office know you and they've saved a note. Now, the note could be good, it could be bad. I don't know that, right. Although I do start asking the associates whether they keep good notes or bad notes. So if I'm submitting you that casting office for a role that you are perfect for, right, and an audition doesn't come our way, that could be a bad note, and then you're done. They won't call you in again.
Well, that's where classes comes in. I mean, are classes bullshit out here, or are they real? What do you think? So
I met with the Batman, I was going to say Batwoman, the Batman actress yesterday. And one of the first things she led with was, it's like sport, right, acting? And I said, yes. Tell me why you think it is. She said, I have to keep fit every day. And I said, yes, I'll give you the analogy. If you don't go to acting class regularly, it's like being a tennis player. How can you be good enough to compete at Wimbledon? You can't. You've got to be playing tennis 2-3 hours every single day. Acting is a muscle, and you got to keep doing it.
So what do you do about some of these acting coaches? Like, I believe, let's pull up Nickelodeon now. Drake Bell on a show, his acting coach molested him. You know, and then there's some other horror stories too, where the acting coach. I mean, I'm not going to bring up a certain A-lister, but I mean, fuck it, let's bring him up. Franco had a school, and he got allegedly all, you know, sexually harassed some of the girls and stuff like that. Supposedly, I don't know, I wasn't there, but it's like, classes, are they safe? Are they like, what's the good class? What kind of, I mean,
it's tough, right? It's really hard, right, for anybody new in town. I think a lot of thing actors don't do is they think they're an island, they're on their own, they're not a team player. I have to knock that out of a lot of clients where they're not telling me what they're up to, or they suddenly have booked something. So actors have to ask for help. They have to, when they first come to town, they got to find other actors. They got to ask for acting coaches that they recommend. They have to come by reference. Then their manager should know that casting or the coach. They should know them. Hey, this is Hollywood. There is a dark side to this town. We know that, Max. Right. You and I sit here. We both have our own stories.
Right.
I'll give you mine. I'm very happy to tell you
and
this.
I'll give you mine.
Oh.
I'll give you mine.
Okay. So this has been reported in, I think it was a newspaper in the UK. I told this. So years ago, I went for an audition.
Right.
And it was a very powerful casting director in his 70s. He's no longer here. He's passed away. And I went for a film. It was called Truth Be Told. And I auditioned for it. I had an acting agent at the time. Like I said, I wasn't really an actress, called Stephanie. And went for the audition. The casting director said to my agent, we like her American accent's not good enough. We're going to do callbacks in 2 or 3 weeks. If she can go away and, you know, strengthen her American accent, then she's good to go. We really like her. So I coached on my accent for 3 weeks. I went back, did the callback, got the job offer. So it wasn't a deal memo yet. It was just an offer. This was the October, November of that year. And then in the January, I came back to town thinking I was going to be a superstar. It was with 2 lead famous names, big names. And my role would be like the third ranking on the show. It was a $5 million budget film, and came back to town. I was still hosting a shopping TV channel back then, 3 days a week. So I said to my agent, can you ask casting if the offers come in officially, because I've got to give the shopping TV channel notice for the 6 weeks we're filming in Utah for somebody to replace me. Fine. She calls the casting director. Casting director wants to speak to me. She gives my number out. He calls me, Max, from the day this happened to the day that I go in the ground, I'm going to tell you this is the God's honest truth. He said to me on the phone, Liz, if you want this film to happen, you need to fly to Hawaii Friday and go entertain the money men. And I said, now this is where the actress did come in.
Wow.
I went, oh, I'm really sorry, his name. I don't understand what you mean. I don't even know if I'm free this weekend.
Wow.
He says, I need you to get on a plane Friday and entertain the money men. And you know what that means. And if they like you and this film is a success, they will keep investing in you and you'll do bigger films and bigger films. Right. That's how this town works. The director of the film is a woman too. Her name is Ali Barr. This is her first feature film in Utah. So make this happen for us, Liz. There's a lot of people that want this money to come in. Now, I happen to be living at the time. My boyfriend was a huge bodybuilder.
Right.
He went nuts with this call, wanted to literally go over to that casting director's office and beat him out. And I called my agent back. I said, Stephanie, this is what's happened. She said, no way. This casting director is one of the most respectable people in this town. Look at his IMDb. He's cast 1 million projects. So Stephanie says, I'll call him. I said, no, I'll call him back and I'll record him. So I put him on speakerphone, had my boyfriend's phone. We recorded it. He said exactly the same thing.
Wow.
And I held that tape till the Me Too movement came out in 2016. When that came out in 2016, I called my manager, William, up at Optimism Entertainment. And I said, William, I want you to call this casting director and tell him I'm walking over to the CSA tomorrow. I recorded that conversation for 3 years ago, and I want to know who the money men are. And I'm going to tell you, that is God's truth, what happened to me. Wow. There was no way that I was going to get on a plane, wherever, whatever island. They said Hawaii.
Right.
So for me, I emailed. I only knew one casting director in town well enough to have her email address. Her name was Pamela Staton. She did 9 years at Warner Brothers. African-American, lovely casting director. I emailed her, can I take you for lunch? Anywhere. We went for lunch and I said, is this town run like that? Are people run like assets?
Right.
And I'm not going to say everything she said, but we literally sat there and discussed everybody in the town. And that's when I realized half this town, I think, is dirty and half of it is clean. And I realized that I wanted to be on the business side. I wanted to be on the powerful side. I wanted to protect actors. And I'm a pretty strong person. I've got no problem telling anyone to F off. Right. And I've actually, my favorite word, my mother brought me up to know that my favorite word is no. And I love saying no, no problem with it at all.
I'm so proud that you're my manager.
Are you? Oh my God, you gonna cry? Come on.
I am. I'm so.
You're such an actor.
No, I'm not. I'm not
Get
acting.
that emotion out.
I'm not acting. It's just like, just to hear that. You know, you already have to deal with, you know, some people call it the patriarchy. I don't know, like that's another segue to come into. But have you dealt with that in this business as a woman? But I mean, just to know that, like, at such a vulnerable stage to somebody put you in.
I was new. Like, what was I? I was 3 years living in LA.
Yeah, but
most people would say yes to an opportunity. I'm convinced they would.
I think you are the exception. And I think a lot of people have stories, but I think a lot of people put themselves in those situations sometimes too. But you didn't. Like you said,
Max, I never will. There is something that guides me stronger than myself, and that is God. And
Amen.
I came to Hollywood not being a massive Protestant Christian from Wales, but I came to Hollywood and I got closer to God.
Yeah.
Which is the most unusual thing, because I think most people come here and they cave into temptation.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I'm just the opposite. I just get stronger and stronger.
I mean, it really makes me proud of you and that you represent me.
But Max, I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people in this town that could have been a massive star if they'd done the wrong decision. But I wonder how many people there are in this town that have wish they hadn't done certain things. And I will say every 6 months, there's another scandal. There's another Me Too. There's another actor that got molested. There's another actor that did something. And it's tough. People think they have to make quick decisions in Hollywood, and you don't. I honestly am so proud of the actors I represent because they're in it for the long haul. They want, here's my favorite quote, be so good they can't ignore you. And I do believe if you are that
Steve
good.
Martin. That's Steve Martin. For sure. I know that was Steve Martin. For sure.
I think, just be so good that at the end of the day, here's another example. I got an actor on, I think it was SWAT. It was a guest star. He wasn't guest star level. He'd maybe done one co-star. But they wanted him. And the showrunner came in his trailer on set and said, you weren't everybody's choice, but I fought for you and I knew it had to be you.
Yeah.
There are good people in this town that want new talent. There are good people in this town that will fight for the right person to be cast. And that's what I bank on every day. That's what I survive on, I watch every single one of my actors. I drop people I don't like their character. Even if people make me money, Max, I will get rid of somebody that I think is shady. I don't like their character, aren't consistent, aren't professional, and aren't nice people.
It's bad energy. Well, let's talk about, have you been in your position and being a partner, because you're a partner at CSP. And you sold the last talent agency you were at, right?
So I got bought out. So I had shares in that talent agency that I went into for the first year, learned the business there. And then I was advised, why are you being an agent, Liz? You're so much more hands-on. You care more about the actor. You're really a manager. Right. And it was actually SAG that had that conversation with me.
Wow, SAG
because
told you.
SAG told me. Because when I was at Electrostar, Gary Marsh fell out with the owner of Electrostar, Ali Durham. Gary owns Breakdown Express. And he told Ali...
talk about a monopoly, by the way, right? He owns the town.
He's another British guy doing well. What can I say?
There's something with British and in this and you guys just taking over the town.
Because if we manage to get here, do you know how hard it is for us to get our O1 exceptional visa? We got to be the best of the best in our own country. So we've been relentlessly pursuing this career.
Right.
People that come here, if they've got the O1, I then got my green card in extraordinary merit, and now I'm an American citizen. Right. But I will tell you, you have to literally be a hard worker to make it as a Brit in this town. So anyway, Gary picks up the phone to me and he says, I'm pulling your Breakdown Express. You're not going to get it. Unless you're a SAG franchised agency, we're not putting you back on Breakdown Express. And so I called up SAG. And the person at SAG said to me, Liz, you've still got a SAG profile.
Oh, wow.
You still have a SAG membership. So let me advise you. If you're an agent, you need to leave SAG or go on honorable discharge. If you're a manager, technically you don't need to, but I would advise you to go on honorable discharge. Right. So he said, if you're a manager, one day if you ever want to go back to acting, you can. But more importantly than that, you can produce. And I think you're a producer, Liz, looking at your resume. And so that very kind person at SAG said, go be a manager. So then one of my clients, love mailing, she was with Citizen Skull, Mark Myers, and she said, Mark is the coolest, nicest guy on the planet. So I called Mark, I think it was on a Thursday. I said, can I come in and meet you tomorrow? I went in on the Friday. I'd also spoken to 3 other management towns. I started at who was ranking number 1 in this town management firm. I called them and they said, sure, show us how much you're earning. And if you come to our management company, all your clients need to sign to the management firm, not you. So if you leave, so I walked in.
Over.
Yeah.
They screw you over.
So I walked into Mark Myers' office, and he was so cool. I think the management side had been going 3 or 4 years. He'd been a producer for probably 10 years. So it was more a production company, and they only had 130 actors and 3 members working in the office back then. And I walked in on the Friday and I said, right, here's the deal. I've got 300 actors at Electrostar. I'm probably bringing 133 of them. Wow. I knew the exact number.
Wow.
They're signed to me, and the percentage deal I want to do with you is this. And he's, if you know Mark Myers, he's like so laid back and cool. He must have been blown away by my energy, because I went in there and I went this, and this.
Yeah.
And he looked at me and went, okay.
Why would I ever be against that?
So
why would I compete with
that
her?
was the Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
I remember all my actors came and we played beach volleyball. And I went round to them one by one, everybody that came. There was about 100 on the beach, I think. And I went round to every single one. And I said, I'm moving. I'm being a manager. I start Monday at Citizen Skull. Are you with me? And then I sent a group email out. Here's the login. Jump on the Citizen Skull with your Actors Access. And I started Monday as a manager. Now, 7 years later, Citizen Skull, I think we're like 28 members of staff and 1,200 actors. And yes, I became a partner probably because my crazy energy in bringing in more managers, bringing in more actors.
Have you ever felt the patriarchy as a manager? Like, you know, men have like put you down, or have you felt like that there's something that you can't do because of a man in his position in your position that you're in right now?
No, but I think I think people are intimidated by my energy.
So the opposite, you feel the opposite then?
Yeah, most of the time if I'm dealing with directors, they'll want me to be in their film. And I'm like, no, that's not it. I want my actor.
Have you ever gotten harassed?
No.
Really?
I don't get harassed.
So on this side, you don't get the harassment, but when you were an actor.
It's all about power, isn't it? It's all about, as a manager, they know that I could probably badmouth them in this town and people are going to listen to me. I'll tell you one time I had an issue. It was very early on, so it was probably about 7 years ago. Somebody tried to poach Raphael, and they messaged him, and they'd seen something on the breakdowns. Now, I'd already submitted Raphael for that project anyway, but they had called Raphael and said, there's a project that you're perfect for. I'm going to get you in. And Raphael, being very sweet back then, said, oh my God, that's so kind of you. Yeah, let me know if you get me an audition. So then they came back and said, oh, we got an audition for you for this. And I knew the manager. He'd kind of been a friend of mine.
Wow.
So I called him up and I said, listen, we got a problem. Don't ever effing poach one of my clients. Don't ever do it. Because in this town, if I start bad-mouthing you and you bad-mouth me, who are they going to believe more, me or you? And he went, oh, damn. And so he apologized and he said, right, I won't ever touch any of your clients. And I said, listen, I already saw that breakdown. I was on it. And then I told Raphael. And so here's the thing. When you're not the most powerful management firm or the most powerful agency in town, your actors, as soon as they book a recurring guest job, I had this with somebody on Taylor Sheridan's show. As soon as one of your actors is kind of bubbling, they're about to be hot news, they're mentioned in
Once
Deadline.
all the hard work is done.
Yeah, once the hard work is done.
Right.
Then another management firm that has a series regular or a director or a writer or a producer on that show or that film swoop in, turn up on set and go, oh, do you fancy coming out for lunch tonight with my client?
Right.
And then they start dropping things like, oh, I got a director. He's doing a film next month. Do you know who he is? Da-da-da. I'll put you in the film. And then most actors cave in this town thinking, oh, my God, I really want to be with them.
Right.
Rather than be honest with your team. It's so small.
I was put in that position. I know we're going to move to a point, but I wanted to share this with you, is that a manager is who put me in that position when I was right off of Broadway. The manager went to go see me, take me out. We had we won the Tony, and I was a series regular on All My Children. So I had like 2 really big credits. And he brought his celebrity client at the time. Now, I'm not going to say who, because he still has those celebrity clients. And the celebrity herself at dinner told me that if I wanted to really take it to the next level, that I should go home with him and seal the deal.
Go home?
Go home with him, yeah. Yeah, that was told to me. And I really, and I got to say this, and I'm not trying to just name names or call somebody out for the sake of that. I mean, this message is more to that person, because I'm pretty sure she'll remember who she is, because it was in 2003.
You're so telling me off
camera. And I just got to say that I was really let down when you did that to me, because I was not young in my career, but I was impressionable enough to do whatever it takes, especially for my family. And you know the situation with my family.
Yeah.
And that broke my heart. But and that was the moment I said, if this is what I have to do in this business, fuck it. I don't want to be a star.
So I came to that same realization, Max. And I think I want you to pray for that actress, that celebrity, because I think they're like a spider caught in a web. And if they don't do that, their whole house, mortgage, family is dependent.
The funny part is that actress right now has that in their family, like some dilemmas. And she's married to a very big person also, athlete. And they're actually very well known. And I just got to say, like, there is turmoil in that home.
I'm going to tell you that the most important thing over money, success, fame, is the ability to be free with your soul and happy.
I can sleep at night. I can fucking sleep at night. I don't know about you, but I can sleep at night.
I'm going to tell you, the longer I spend in Hollywood, the more that I believe in heaven and the more that I believe that you have to keep your side of the street clean. And I think you have to keep your soul clean and you will be rewarded in the next life. And I can't believe I'm saying this.
I believe that too. I really believe that too.
Max,
I do. I believe in God. I really do. I got to say
just because somebody is famous, do not believe they are happy. They could be caught and trapped in a web. They can't leave the agent. They can't leave the family. They can't leave the houses here in the hills. You know, Max, once you get one of these houses, the property tax, you're on the hamster wheel forever.
But when do you take that with you? Like, you can't take it with you. So why does it really matter? It's the experience. I will say this, because there are a lot of podcasts that say LA sucks, California sucks. There's a lot of shit talking that happens there, right? Does LA suck?
Certain parts of it does. You have to be strong enough for LA. So I'm renovating a house in Wales, back home, right?
Right.
It's beautiful. I have a house with a swimming pool. I have a house with a stream and a waterfall. My dogs are staying there. That's my forever house. That's where I want to retire.
That's your forever home.
That's my forever home. And then I come to LA, I work, I have my home here. I've lived in the same home for 10 years. But I have no desire to put the financial roots down in LA because I think you're always on the hamster wheel.
Right.
I think have the freedom here and build your empire and your fortune to retire elsewhere. And I think I always said that when I was in front of the camera, I would retire from being in front of the camera because I never wanted to be an older woman looking desperate for the next gig, which is why I wanted to go into more business and be an entrepreneur and a manager. And I think it's the same thing. I think you need to always, and this is one thing I ask every person now when I meet them, what's the end goal? What's the end goal? Is it money? Is it fame? Is it film? Is it TV? And let's work backwards. And I realized 2 or 3 years ago, I did that with myself. I went, right, what's the end goal? And as you know, I just lost my best friend, Marcella. She died in Cedars-Sinai of cancer.
Right.
They tried to evict her out of Cedars-Sinai, and they did. February 2nd, she had a letter put under the door. You have to surrender the room. We no longer take Medi-Cal because she couldn't afford a Blue Shield anymore. And they pushed her into the hospice on Fairfax, opposite Fairfax High School where the market is. And then she contacted a UTI. She got sepsis. She then had to go back to Cedars-Sinai. And she just died March 6th. And I watched somebody that was born and bred LA lose her friends. In the beginning, when you're ill, your friends are there.
Right.
But after 3 years battling cancer, your friends start visiting maybe once a month, once every 3 months. And she was on her own. I think she may have been on her own dying, although someone says one of her school friends' wife may have been with her. And America is hard. California is hard. I represent an amazing actor. He slept in his car for 3 years until we started his career getting going. Now he's recurring on some shows and, he's renting a place. But this isn't the Hollywood we all thought it was from the 80s. My favorite film was Pretty Woman.
Right. And it's not Pretty Woman.
It's not Pretty Woman.
There's more broken dreams than there are successful.
Homelessness is growing 9% a year in California.
Yeah.
It's tough. And I just think if you're an actor and you're not from LA, come to LA. But every 4 months, go home. Go home.
I think we need to bring that show that helps with the homelessness that you were doing. I think we need to kind of help that. Because not everybody wants to be helped, right? I mean, there's a lot of people with situations going on. But there are a lot of people that do want to be helped.
What I've realized with artists is your greatest challenge every day is your mental health. I say that to my actors every day. All you've got to do is master your own mental health.
Right.
Because you won't get successful until you are ready.
Yeah.
And until, you mentioned this earlier, energy. I believe you have to raise your frequency to a level of abundance where the abundance comes to you.
Correct.
You will never be successful if you're ungrateful, if you're moaning, if you're worried, you're scared, you have fear about money. Your frequency is so low, you will never attract it.
But it's so funny because like we have clients that are like so in that space that they hear that, but they don't hear that. And so it's like almost like life has to teach them that because they're not hearing that. Not everybody's ready to receive that, right? Because we can say it. And I seem to see a common pattern in successful people, which is they work really hard, and that's part of a continuation process. Like it doesn't stop for them to be successful.
It's a journey. Everything is a journey. I think, what's the purpose of us being here, Max? In 100 years' time, is this house going to be here? We're not. Maybe this house is.
Right.
Maybe this view is, or it'll have changed. There'll be more houses probably on the hills.
Maybe it's underwater.
Yeah, it could be underwater.
Right.
Nothing really matters. So what is our life about? I personally think it's a journey of growth and your own integrity.
So we want to circle back with Alan Richson. He just came out, said that when he was modeling, and he's the actor that's Reacher. He's Reacher on Reacher, the Amazon show.
I love that show.
Yeah, it's a great show.
He's a good-looking guy too. He's like your height, right? He's tall.
I'm pretty sure. I think I'm a little bit heavier. He's muscular. I'm heavier. He came out saying that when he was a model, that he was told to go to a room with this photographer, and that he would get a campaign. And that he was sexually assaulted. He claimed he was sexually assaulted, or he was almost sexually assaulted. Yeah, we can pull up the article. Yeah, let's pull up the article. I want to read it. Reacher star Alan Richson recounts being sexually assaulted by famous photographer when he was a model. He goes on to say he didn't name names, but he shared a harrowing account of being assaulted by someone in a position of power. I was booked for a shoot, he says, with this very famous photographer. I was sent into the hotel room to do the nudes with the promise that if I did the shoot, he would offer me a very lucrative campaign for a magazine and clothing line. And I was sexually assaulted by this guy.
What are you asking me, Max?
Is that more of what we have to deal with than getting the job?
I think we did. There are very brave people in this industry saying no and reporting it.
Yeah.
And for anybody watching, keep saying no.
Right.
Keep standing up. And anytime anything is wrong, you do not be scared, and you literally tell people. And as long as we keep saying no, we'll drive out the dark energy, the dark people. I think this town is a lot cleaner than it was 10 years ago. I mean, listen, we can go back to Marilyn Monroe's days. You know, the studios literally, a lot of them would control these actors, sign these actors up.
I think you're right. Did Me Too help?
Definitely.
What do you think about now the Johnny Depp situation, when that happens? Is that kind of...
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? It's tough to see. Do we always trust somebody coming out? We have to listen to them. We always have to listen to people's stories.
And not jump to conclusions and say, you're guilty. Because that happens a lot. You're guilty. And it's like, whoa, where's you can say anything you want in comments on the internet or, allegations and filings. But it's like, even Trump and Stormy Daniels, you know what I mean? There's
three sides to a story, Max.
Correct.
You know that, right?
Their side, the other person's side, and the truth, right? Yeah.
I also think autistic people, more right-brained people, can misunderstand the emotional context of a situation more because they are the emotional beings. In fact, you have to understand emotion. And I actually think my best actors, and I look for in all my actors, have probably had some pain from childhood, because I think the part of the brain that is developing the emotional understanding is almost triggered to a heightened sense, so that the artist fully understands emotions more than anybody else, because it's the artist that has to be the expert of emotions.
Right.
And I think when a situation occurs that is a little sensitive, this happened or that happened, I think two very different people will have different understandings of that situation. Somebody that's very left brain won't have maybe they will, maybe they won't, but they may not have the emotional EQ that an artist does. And an artist may not have the IQ of somebody that is, say, a straightforward librarian accountant type. So everybody is different. Right. And I learned that from meeting my fiance and getting engaged. There's such a thing as compatibility. And it's a very rare thing. It's very rare.
But at least we're talking about it, right? Like, we're talking about it now. We're bringing up the people about Me Too, that they were wronged. Now we're talking about the people that used Me Too to kind of weaponize that to hurt people, in all aspects of that. Because there is people that have their version of their hurt, right? Mm-hmm. Like I did feel like with that night, like for instance, for me, like in my situation, I felt in that situation just something was taken from me. Now it wasn't being sexually assaulted because I didn't go to the room, right? But I did feel like something.
Well, your innocence was taken from you because you believed in the industry.
I did.
When the situation happened with me and I was given that opportunity, let's say, to go fly to an island and be a big star, or potentially a star in one film that could lead to something more.
Yeah.
I got to say, I was probably I wouldn't say I'm never depressed. I'm a very lucky person. But I would say that hit me for 6 months because I had spent $20,000 at that point to come into this country correctly. 01, green card, right?
Right.
Don't think I was an American citizen by then. But I also spent 15 years of my career focused on I'm going to Hollywood. So it then hit me that, oh my God, have I been so laser focused on achieving success in Hollywood that this is BS? Right?
Right.
And then I remember my partner at the time, Khan, he said to me, I think you should go home to Wales. I was like, I'm not going home. Entertainment is my career.
Liz is not a quitter. What are you talking about?
No,
you do not know the woman you are with. She doesn't quit.
No, I'm in some sort of hurdle race, and the hurdle's there. I go over it, under it, round it, break it, jump it. I will find a different way to achieve what I want to achieve. My middle name is Relentless, Max.
Yeah. You did say something. You said, I came into this country the right way. Mm-hmm. Are you opposed when people come into the country the wrong way? What is that wrong way? Because there are people now just coming through the border, right?
How do I feel? Listen, I came here as an immigrant for a better life. I think every human being has the right to go get a better life.
100%.
So how do I feel about people coming straight over the border? If that is your way in, you do it. I would have swum in here if I had to, right? To achieve my goals.
Right.
But at some point, you put your hand up and say, I want to be a contributing member to the society. I want to be a good person. I want to pay my taxes. I believe in paying taxes because I believe we should always look after those less vulnerable than themselves. Yeah. I will always fight for the underdog, where if it had been the Holocaust, I would have fought for Jewish people. Right now in the Middle East, I'll fight for the underdog there. I'm going to tell you, whoever the underdog is in society, I'll fight for them. Whatever is right and wrong, we all have our own perspective. But I will tell you, if I feel somebody is oppressed, if I feel somebody needs a better life, if I feel like somebody wants a better life, do what you have to do. But I believe the only person judging you in this lifetime is up there. And whatever you do, you don't have to validate anything to me. I'm nobody. I'm just another human being. I am equal to you. But I will tell you right now, there will come a day, I believe, at the gates of heaven where you're either going in or you're not going in.
Liz, I think
and I live my life by that.
I think you should be a prime minister.
I think there's too many seriously photos.
Because who cares? I mean, you can't have a hot prime minister. You can be both. Both can be true.
It's funny because I just got invited about 6 months ago to the British consulate here in Hancock Park, and I actually met and I had a conversation with Gethin, who is he's the first ever black leader of a country in Europe. He's now the leader of Wales.
Yeah.
He's the first minister of my country.
Wow.
And I like him. And I think I'm going to go have more conversations with him. You're right.
I think you should. And then, but here's the thing. You sound like you're a capitalist. It sounds like you are a liberal and a conservative.
It's really confusing.
Yeah, I mean,
so
can we talk on that?
8 years ago, Facebook tried to analyze. Do you remember this? Facebook tried to analyze the political stance of every Facebook user, and you could go into your settings and you could find the area. I think they may have got rid of it now, but they were trying to track everything you shared, everything you liked. I'm going to tell you, politically, they had me the opposite of what I thought I was, but I think I sit in the middle. I think I'm really on the fence.
I think a lot of us do.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us do. And it sucks that I can agree with one party and then another party and then you're this. And it's like, both can be true, man.
I'm at the point where I think it's like, what did they say? Two wings on the same bird. I'm almost there. I don't think we really have that much choice. I don't think we have that much freedom. I think we do. I don't. I think whatever's going on in the world, the powers that be that group together every year and have a chat, is it Davos or whatever the...
Oh, you're talking about the World Economic Forum?
I feel like
Charles
they're already
Schwab.
10 years ahead
They're
of
like
us.
BlackRock. Well,
they already know what
it's
they're
almost
doing
like
for the
they
next
think
10
they're
years.
like, we know aliens are coming and they're real or they're here. And so therefore we're going to just try to like swoop everybody together and control everyone.
I think over the last 3 years, managing so many actors, I've had cuckoo conspiracy theories sent to me. I've had conspiracy theories sent to me that I'm like, oh, that resonates.
Well, I'm looking for a new conspiracy theory because all of mine came true.
They say that, right? They say, what do you know about a conspiracy theorist? Well, most of the stuff they talk about comes true 5 years later.
Right. It's kind of, well, I mean, but why is it? But it's just so people ostracize you, man, because they don't agree with your viewpoint. So
I think
right
it's
away,
fear.
Yeah, I think it's like, no, it's the quickest way to like not have a conversation.
But I also know one of my actors kept promoting something on their social media. And so I reached out and I said, you're promoting something all the time. Why is that?
Right.
Oh, I'm getting paid for it.
Oh, there you go. Just like Rotten Tomatoes, they paid for the reviews with movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they did. They were paying the people that were reviewing it to review it a certain way.
I think where we've
the
got
game
to
is
be,
rigged. The game is rigged.
I think a lot of it is rigged.
Yeah, game is rigged.
Hands
100%.
down is rigged. I think Hollywood used to
you
be
have to
so
be
controlled.
so talented. Even when they rig the game, you got to beat them.
There's a tiny little, I don't know. There's a tiny little glimmer of hope, of truth
it's called
that you got to get through.
It's called a God particle.
And again, you have to be so good.
Right.
They can't ignore you. Live by that.
Right. Or use their own ego against them when they're not getting paid enough. Because how many brilliant careers and moments have been made of what projects independently that didn't pay, but then blew up?
Blair Witch. I knew one of the producers on Blair Witch. She bought a house in the hills. She bought a villa in Tuscany.
My Big Fat Greek Wedding?
Yeah.
No, like no names. Zero names.
Yeah, the first film was insane. I think it made like 350 million or something crazy.
Yeah, it
right?
was crazy. It was
off like a budget of 3 million.
It was one of those moments like catching lightning in a bottle.
It happens though, Max.
Yeah, it does.
I believe in miracles. Things can happen.
Correct.
Not as often as I want them to.
Right.
But I do believe that, a lot of it is luck. Some of it.
But I like your version of it. And I think it really is. It's when opportunity meets preparation, right? Because if you're not prepared, you're going to have tons of opportunity, but look like a fucking idiot. But you really have to be prepared and ready, because when you have the opportunity, they sit down and go, why am I going to work? Like Mark was like, why am I going to work against her? Like, let her come in with all her clients and make this company even more successful. Because to negotiate against her, I don't want to do it. And there you go. I mean, that's a good example of like what kind of patriarchy is there in this business. It's like, well, if you're like the greatest at what you do, I'm not going to fuck with you.
Well, thank you.
I want you on my team.
Yeah.
I want you shooting the shot. You know what I mean?
I think my mum telling me your most powerful word and the word you have to love, no, is the best, was the best thing my mother ever did to me. I have no problem saying no. I have literally been asked to come over to other management firms, and I'll go, well, this is what I want. My actors signed to me, not the company. I want this percentage. They'll go, no. I'll say, fine, it's a no with me too. I don't care that you're the best management firm or one of the top 3. No.
Let's talk about companies. Netflix, Hulu, YouTube. What are the other ones?
Amazon,
HBO,
Paramount.
Which is the platform that's the king of the hill?
So,
or is there just so many that the opportunities are so vast?
Let me explain one thing to you. So I have a home here and I have a home in the United Kingdom, right?
Correct.
Netflix will allow me to stream with that login in both countries. Hulu, I got to have a Hulu American account. I've got to have a Paramount American account. I got a Hulu British account. So some of the streaming platforms are controlling the content in each country and who logs in. Netflix, you can literally log in with one password, one login across the world. So I think Netflix is the king. I think it's always going to be, well, it's not always going to be because there's always something new that comes around. Amazon Prime is brilliant. I can log in anywhere in the world. Paramount, HBO, Showtime, Hulu, you have to have an account for each country. So, for instance, I used to travel with my Apple TV, my box, take it. Now I left my American Apple TV in United Kingdom attached to a British TV.
Yeah.
Some apps won't work. So my Paramount, my Hulu, HBO, Showtime, they won't work attached to a British TV, attached to a British Wi-Fi.
Greedy.
So everything, yeah, I guess everything is still controlled, right?
So people say it's hard to sell projects now, though. Is there more opportunity now, or is there less, or what's going on with that?
So there is what's the word they use? Every quarter, Netflix and the streaming platforms will release like not their mandate, it's what they're looking for.
Right.
So there's trends, right? So it could be, transgender, that's popped up. That's been a massive trend. You can see the Love is Blind, that reality show. You can see the estate agent, the realtor reality shows was a big trend. There's trends, and somehow if you're producing content, you have to almost be ahead of the trend, because there's no point pitching something to Netflix or the streaming platforms if that's not the trend they're looking for.
Now, we do have a film together because you took a chance on me and being a producer on 2 of my projects.
Yes.
And
why would I not take a chance on you, Max? Your energy's almost as high as mine.
Oh, man. And like with Amazon, we're going into a partnership deal, but they offer that for independent filmmakers to put up your movie. Now, you do have to qualify because they'll ask you for the deliverables, which will be captions, subtitles, the frames, and all that kind of stuff. But Amazon does give me, as an independent,
an opportunity.
An opportunity. And you also being my producer, helping me get the talent, it helps us put our project out there. Now we have to promote it. That's why on the podcast, watch Retrograde as it drops here soon. Look for it on Amazon. But yeah, it feels as though that opportunity really is there. That wasn't before.
I love that, but then really what it comes down to is eyes on the prize.
Correct, yeah.
You've got to get eyeballs watching that, otherwise it's not a success. There's a million projects probably on Amazon that just get lost and are buried and never watched.
So is AI going to take over? Is there still room as a manager with AI? Or is it going to come in and be like managing actors, being like, you shouldn't do this deal?
I'll tell you something. There are already apps that are wanting to be management teams.
Wow.
So listen, I want to do this for another 10 years, and I'm retiring to my house in Wales, and I'm going to travel the world, and I'm going to sit there with my freshwater stream.
Running for prime minister.
I think I'll be the power behind people, kicking them up the bum, but be anonymous.
There you
that
go.
That would suit me. I mean, there's only 3 million people in Wales, I'm sure.
So you said 10 years. So what's the 5-year plan for CSP then with you there?
So I have a team, so every time I bring in managers below me,
wow.
I teach them.
Got it.
Obviously, that's called being a partner, right? So that's my side of the business. So it's growing. I mean, really, I could I could pull in a few more managers and never ever work again. I could do that and sit back. But I'm a workaholic, Max.
But you can't. You can't, though.
I've been...
You can't.
Let me think.
It's like, what does Michael Jordan do after basketball? He owns a team, and then he GMs it, and then owns...
Why would you do nothing? Nothing, like the brain's going to slow down.
But I think it goes back to your purpose, right? Because your purpose is helping people make their dreams come true and protecting them from what you went through. That's my purpose, too, is to educate, help, confront conversations that don't want to be held, like that's why we're talking about topics that are hot button topics.
And also I think having such good talent in this town that you can't get their soul. My talent are firm. Like I really do think I've got good people, and I think we're out here making a difference, Max. I know you do every day.
What are your favorite hobbies? What do you like to do when you're not managing?
Traveling. Travel's the biggest thing you can do.
You are
Culture.
A traveler, yeah.
I love traveling. I did the corny thing, got engaged in Dubai. It's one of the flashiest places on earth.
Is it better than LA?
Yeah. Dubai has taken over as probably one of the most exciting cities I've been to.
Is it a smart city? Like what's going on with that? Would they consider it a smart city yet?
Listen, Dubai has to be leading the way. It really does. And I think even Saudi Arabia is going to come into the market with, they already have tourist destinations. And 10 years ago, a woman couldn't go somewhere like Saudi Arabia before. Now it's like major hotels. And in fact, one of the directors I represent, R. Ellis Fraser, he's just filmed a TV show out there in, I want to say, what's the name of the place with the mirror and it's fabulous in Saudi Arabia.
Oh my God, it's the new city it's the new...
Ulal or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think America's losing its power. America is losing its power. I hate to say that. I think the Middle East, China, I think we're going to be seeing... So anyway, you asked me about hobbies. So more travel to the Far East. When I went to Dubai...
You start picking up some clients over there?
I never say never.
We win the film festivals over there. We won Dubai. We won the Dubai Independent Film Festival.
I have a few Indian clients, so we have Indian clients reaching out to us. I think when I went to Dubai, I phoned Mark back here in Hollywood. I said, "Can we open an office in Dubai? So much money here. Let's start making films here." And he wasn't opposed to it, but it's obviously spending the time there. It's a big
you got to break the grounds. Yeah, you got to represent.
But no, travel is my biggest thing. I love doing that.
Is everybody talking English? Is everybody talking English over there in Dubai?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
Notice how that just creeps in over there, though.
Yeah, I think, language, England's still going to rule the waves with the English language. That's about it.
What's your favorite TV show right now? Or ever? Or actor, legend? Who met your idol and was disappointed?
Favorite actor, I love Christian Bale. He's Welsh DNA, so Christian Bale. I think when he became a little difficult and stood up for himself, I liked that.
Brilliant.
I like men that, pretty strong.
Still, I know you rep somebody from Batman, but he, for me, is like the best Batman.
Dark
Knight.
Brilliant.
With Heath Ledger.
But I'm going to say people like Richard Burton. I'm going to say Anthony Hopkins. These are my influences being Welsh.
Hopkins, Silence of the Lambs.
You can't beat Sir Anthony Hopkins.
You cannot beat him, can you?
No. I love Catherine Zeta, obviously another Welsh one. Film. I think one of the films that really made me think about the world differently was Hunger Games.
All trained actors, by the way, except for Christian. Jennifer Lawrence in Hunger Games?
I'm not a fan of Jennifer Lawrence.
But you are a fan of Hunger Games.
Fan of Hunger Games. Not the last one. Watched the last one on the plane. I tend to catch up and watch a lot of films on a plane.
Right.
Which on a small screen is quite difficult, right?
That's
there is a
funny.
reason why we go to the movie theater.
What's the strongest platform? American Airlines movies.
Okay, I only fly British or American, but I fly American if it's a work day because their Wi-Fi is better. Otherwise, I'd fly British.
Wow. I never even...
If you want Wi-Fi on a plane, don't count on any airline other than American. I found that's the best.
Wow.
I can sit in a plane and work for 9 hours.
Out of all the information I've ever gotten, I think that's the most useful. Like not from you, but I'm saying ever like to know that about the airline. What's your pet peeve? What can't you stand? Somebody cutting you off, somebody
personally, liars. I don't know why. I feel like I have an instinct, like there's something in me that just looks at someone and says they're lying. I almost feel it now.
Right.
Pet peeve professionally, actors that go take their own headshots or cheap headshots. What are you doing? Your career just went down.
Cutting corners.
Yeah.
But Liz,
not coaching.
There's an AI app. There's an AI app that does pictures and coaching.
I don't think I would trust any AI photo. I mean, who hasn't put their own photo in an AI app and gone, who is that?
And as you say that, I know a manager that takes actors' heads with a selfie and puts it on Actors Access and uses that.
How successful are they? Still yet to be seen.
Well, I don't know. They're doing it.
Well, again, be so good they can't ignore you.
There you go.
Even with bad materials.
There you go. Okay, well, as we wrap up, is there anything else that you'd like to promote or something coming your way that you'd like to send out to the audience out there at home?
I think we should just discuss more of your films, Max.
Oh,
Our
man.
films together and get those on.
Yeah, thank you.
And Yolanthe. Let's talk about Yolanthe, who's in your film.
Yolanthe Cabot is the lead of our film. Mm-hmm. It's called Action 8. It's going to be coming up here pretty soon on Streamer. She was brilliant to work with, by the way.
She's like the nicest sweetheart.
She's the nicest person.
She is a charity, Free a Girl, that goes into Nepal, India, South America, the Caribbean she's gone into, and freed girls. It's called Free a Girl.
Yeah.
Works with human trafficking. That happens in every country. And that is still the biggest problem today. And slavery is still going on. Wow.
It's true. And just to go back to her as an actress, though, because that's amazing that she does that. She's fantastic at comedy. She's so good at comedy. I mean, she had Fuck Love 2 on Netflix that was ranked
Netflix wanted her address. They wanted to just keep sending her gifts. They love her.
Yeah. So it was like when I saw her tape that you sent me, I was like, she's a star.
Yeah.
I can't afford her. And you're like, yes, you can.
That's the beauty of Yolanthe. It's about the quality of the art. She's a good one. And I just want to give a shout out to all the actors that go undercover to get people out of slavery, because that's going on and they will never win an Oscar because you don't know it's them that's doing it.
Right. She's brilliant. So Yolanthe Cabot with my other leads, RJ Melgar and Shannon Pryor. That'll be dropping here soon. So look out for Action 8 coming out very soon. And Retrograde on Amazon. That for sure is going to drop.
We're going to have to do a big screen in Max.
Yeah, we are. I mean, it's so interesting because like usually sometimes the streamers don't. They just pick it up, and they don't do that. You'd think that every movie gets that, but oh well. But Liz Fuller, thank you so much for being a guest on the Gray Area podcast.
I'm very happy to be here, and you are always a guest in Wales at the same time.
Thank you. Again, we'd like to be a guest at Yolanthe's Ibiza because she has
her gala.
Her gala.
I think it's October. Is it the first weekend of October?
Yeah. Oh my God. Jeez. Please invite me, please. All right. Well, thank you again, Liz, and thank you for everybody watching at home. Hopefully, we were useful covering the gray areas in the industry of acting and managing and modeling, and shed some light on that for you. So thank you, everyone, and tune in. And then please like, subscribe, and follow. And you know what? Liz, would you be open to we select somebody that has some potential for you to take a look at as a manager if they send a video?
I always do.
Okay. If you want to send your monologue, tape, whatever you'd like for Liz to take a look at, please send it to the email at thegrayarea@goehq.com.